This is not going to be a speech about KPI bashing. I'm not going to be the crazy guy on a street corner on my soapbox with a sign saying down with KPIs. I'm not going to say we should all become hippies and do away with KPIs and targets altogether. You know, we need KPIs. They are a good thing. We literally could not do our job without them. And when using the right way, they provide priceless data that will help any resourcer, any consultant, or any director. However, it's when they're not using the right way that actually causes the damage. So the more people I speak to, it seems there's lots of companies out there that are using them as hard and fast targets instead as indicators of performance. Therefore, kind of creating this culture where consultants feel like hitting call times is more important than making deals. So what is a KPI, right? It sounds obvious, right? But it seems that the literal meaning is either been completely forgotten or completely misunderstood in the first place. You know, a KPI is an indicator, you know, the clue's in the name, but you know, nowhere in the acronym is the word target. Now, it's not the people that are the problem, and it's not the KPI that's the problem either. It's how they are managed. It's how they're enforced and how they are punished that's the problem. If you don't get this right, then it's this and this alone that will make people want to go and work somewhere else. Now, your company's culture is a direct result of how you manage your KPIs. Now, I'm not saying it should be fun and games all day, every day. You know, we can't all be playing on ping pong tables and sit on beanbags. You know, we do have a target to hit. But if you want people to be productive and enjoy working for you, then this is where you need to start. Now, I'm pretty lucky where I am, and no, my boss has not paid me to say this, but we seem to have got this right, and people enjoy working there. But I haven't always been as fortunate. So I'm going to share with you some experiences that I've had and other people have sent to me. So I worked at a place where you had to do an hour and 15 minutes on the phone before 11 o'clock. And if you didn't, you had to go and queue up at your director's desk with your workbook, like school kids, to explain why. Now, the fact that we had workbooks would probably tell you a lot about what that place was like. And it got to a point where people were just calling up, you know, fake numbers or switchboards they knew they could hang on to, just to get the times up. That place now has got to a point where the team leads there genuinely have 66 daily checks they have to go through for each of their consultants. Someone else told about a story they worked out where, a similar thing, where they gave out scratch cards and vouchers for call times and stuff. Now, generally the same kid won every time, because again, he just had a bunch of numbers and a bunch of switchboards he could hang on to. But funny enough, he only billed 30K in 9 months. The same guy told me that they had 126 different steps they had to follow for every time they brought a new job on. And if they didn't, they was given a written warning. And then someone else told me about a mail shot KPI they had, which was 1,800 mail shots. And it just got to a point where people just adding fake names and email addresses to the system to hit it. And then lastly, and genuinely, someone told me about a place they worked at where actually targeted and set a KPI on going to the toilet. Now, they're all completely true. And funny enough, none of those people work in those places anymore. But it's not just those companies. There are lots out there that are still like that. And it's like these companies are just stuck in the 80s, or the managers there watched The Wolf of Wall Street just a few too many times, right? But in all seriousness, the amount of people that came forward to me with their experiences were generally quite worrying, to be honest. And you know, this subject always brings up a bit of controversy, which says to me that there's definitely some kind of underlying problem that people just aren't addressing or they're completely blind to. Now, recruitment is not a paint-by-numbers game. You know, KPIs are never going to guarantee you success, but they will if they're used in the right way. But badly managed KPIs will just lead to false activity and activity for activity's sake, like quantity over quality. You know, I'm not saying we shouldn't take them seriously, because we should. You know, I rely on them for my teams every day. But if you're making people feel like they can't go home until they hit their call times, then don't be surprised if there's a few fake ones in there. You know, we just need to be using them in the right way. So first of all, they need to be used as intended, you know, as indicators, not targets. They should be there as a tool to spot the gaps in someone's performance, to offer support, not punishment, or to actually spot the areas they actually excel at. They need to be simple and they need to be achievable. You know, less is definitely more. They shouldn't be there to get in the way of or create extra pressure on top of a billings target. They should be there to track if your people, if your business is moving forward. They should be seen as the daily activities that your people can use to actually hit their targets in the first place, or the daily wins they can fall back on when things maybe aren't going so well. Now, the dangers of KPIs it's the mismanagement of them. It's not the KPIs themselves. And it's this mismanagement that just leads to false activity and activity for activity's sake. Now, I'm definitely 100% all for KPIs, but in the wrong hands, they would do any business more damage than they will good. And that's it.